I'm Jamie from Jamie and Tarot. Welcome back to our journey through the major arcana. This week we're going to discuss the Magician card. And he's card number 1. We're going to talk about the Rider-Waite card first, which is the one I'm showing you. And as you'll notice, some things that pop out, like I said, it is card number 1. Some things that pop out to me and what I like to look at when I'm looking at a card and interpreting the meaning of it is what speaks to me. So here the yellow definitely speaks to me. In the traditional version, the yellow signifies the sun. It's a search for meaning. It could also mean envy or greed. It could reference gold. And it could also mean danger. Also, in a lot of the cards, it's shown as the Magician card is shown with his hands, one pointing up and one pointing down. And in the traditional meaning, this references above as below, the individual as connecting link between heaven and earth. You'll also often see the infinity sign above his head, which means balance and good vibes. His red cloak represents energy, passion, will, and lifeblood. To live the worthwhile goals and to live out one's heart's desires. And then lastly, his white robe. New beginnings and completion, achievement, and also innocence. And there's more meanings in this card. There's more symbols in this card, and you can look those up. I like to reference this specific book. There are other books out here, but I tend to rely on this book. Okay. So like with every video, I like to go through a couple of my favorite decks. This particular deck, I just like to show you because if you don't remember the traditional meanings, but you like to know what they are, this specific deck by Kat Pierce will have the words of the meanings right at the top. So you rely less on the card itself, though you can get more details out of the card, but it says the meanings right above. And it says power, action, and skill. So that's a nice deck if you're learning how to read the traditional meanings of the cards. So I'm going to show you a couple of decks that I like to use. One is the Dark Mansion Tarot. And this has a very steampunk vibe, which is what I like about it. And in this deck, the Magician looks like this. He's inspecting. You can see he's got his coins and swords out in front of him. But this card gives me a less of a I can do it. It's more inspecting. It's more what do I need to know in order to make things happen. Another deck that I love to use is the Curious Creatures Tarot, and that's this. It's by Christian. And in this card, he really does look like the Magician. He's got the figure 8 here, the infinity, balance. He has also the figure 8 here, and then the swords, cups, and pentacles up in the air that he's making float in the air through his magic. So again, I can do anything. I can make it happen. I have the magic to make this happen for either yourself or your sitter. Okay. And then we have, I also wanted to pull a couple of the decks that I have. I don't like to collect too many decks because I like to use them. So I try not to buy too many, but I do have this Light Seers deck, also by Christian. I really like her. I have her third deck as well, which I'll show you at another time. But this is how the Magician is interpreted in her deck, which here you don't see a lot of the same symbolism. You do see the figure 8 on her head, or I think it's a man on his head, and then he's making the magic happen in the whirlpool below. So it could symbolize a reflection for your sitter. You could be where you need to meditate, and that's where the magic happens. Pick that up heavily with this card. And the meanings will change depending on who you're reading for and what their questions and what their circumstances are. But again, the sun in the background in this card is reflected. And then the last one that I'll show you today is, this is a fun deck. This is the Housewife's Tarot. It's based on like a 1950s family, nuclear family. And this particular deck, his magician he is the repairman, and he's going to magically make the washing machine work. Okay. And that's all I have to show you today. Please let me know if you have any of your own interpretations. If you have any of these decks and you love them, I'd love to hear about them. The magician for me is a very straightforward. If you have a sitter and perhaps they have a spouse who they're having a hard time with and the magician pops up, perhaps it's your sitter who can make anything happen. Perhaps it shows up as more of a narcissistic card. If you can make anything happen. I think sometimes when you have that type of like a narcissist coming through, it might come in as like a swords or even possibly the Emperor, which we'll get to in a couple of videos. The magician to me is very straightforward. It's usually positive. It's a lovely card. I always love when it pops up in one of my readings because you can make things happen, and it's nice to get that reinforcement that you have that ability to do it, and that your team of is supporting you. So thank you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time when we discuss the High Priestess. Thanks for watching.